What is it now, Karen? Episode 1. Alternative?
No, season 2, episode 1.
No, we never said season 1, episode 1.
Oh, but now we're starting a new one.
So that's why I think to save any of the, am I going to have to all season go season 2, episode 2?
Yeah.
Right.
Right, so for 30 seconds into season 2,
Right.
You've already up. Okay, let's try that again.
What is it now, Karen? Episode 12. What's funny about episode 12?
What is it now, Karen? Series 2, episode 1.
So, welcome back to the What Is It Now, Karen podcast. If you're new here, my name's Bethany and I'm with my friend Jo. We recorded a bunch of episodes last year if you want to check them out. We look at what's happening in the news, social media, and have a laugh about what the Karens have got to say about it. Talk about our own Karenisms.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. I was thinking the other day, you know how we always shorten it to WIINK? Like, I think our followers should be called winkers. Like a
Yeah.
like
They're not listeners, they're winkers. Yeah, I love it.
we're a couple of winkers.
We are.
A bunch of winkers. How have you been?
Well,
It's a new year. It's a new series.
we had a little bit of a break. I mean, like everyone, there hasn't been much going on with the slight issue of the pandemic in the way, but
And it's crazy. It's still here. Remember, when did we start doing this? Maybe like September or something.
yeah.
And at that point, we were like, I cannot believe we're still in this situation. And here we are, February.
Still.
And we're still in this situation. Not much has changed for me either. Hair's a wee bit longer. My temper's a wee bit shorter. My mood's a wee bit lower.
I'm developing is it a Malin streak? Where I'm developing like a cluster of grey hairs, like right. You notice I'm sporting a nice kind of side shed tonight. That's because when I wear my hair in the middle part, I have this like is it a Malin streak? Have I made that up?
I have no idea. I've got a wee cluster here on the side of my head. I thought you were just wearing a wee side shed to bring back kind of 2008 vibes.
Well, I'm bringing it back, but only through necessity. The naughties are back, though.
Are they? I hope they don't come back in terms of fashion. I realised that was a dark time for everyone.
I really
Skinny
hope
jeans, maybe the only thing I would keep.
I hope they bring back tooth gems.
Oh my God, no.
I was never allowed them when they were in fashion the first time, so maybe now as an act of defiance, I can wear them.
No, can I just say, I've got a story about a tooth gem. I once used to sit next to a girl in primary school who had a tooth gem, and all this plaque used to accumulate around it, and you could like see it. It was absolutely horrific.
Well, that's the price you pay for fashion.
There used to be a vodka advert as well or something where like an old man died and got cremated, and then his ashes got turned into a diamond and ended up on some like hot chick's tooth, like drinking Smirnoff vodka or something. I want that to happen to me when I die.
What, you want it to be turned into a tooth gem?
A tooth gem for a hot chick. So although nothing really has changed in our lives and everything's kind of on hold, I've made a list of kind of exciting / semi-interesting things that have happened to me since we last recorded. I don't know if you want to
Nice.
indulge me in this.
Always.
Okay, so the first thing, well, in fact, shall we go in like ascending order of like least to most important?
Okay. Yeah, save the best till last.
Yeah, so one interesting thing is that there's somebody I'm friends with on Facebook who keeps posting lovely pictures of their homemade dinners alongside the recipe book, but they keep censoring out the recipe in the picture, like squiggling it.
Why?
I don't get no idea.
Is it because like they've paid for the book, so they don't want anyone having like the free content that's in the book?
That's wee dick energy though, isn't it? That's pathetic. No, I really don't know what it is. I don't know if it's copyright. I don't know if they think that Facebook will pick up I have no idea. But essentially it's like a picture of like a tikka masala and then a picture of a book open at the page for tikka masala, and you can see like the heading, but then there's like a Microsoft Paint squiggle across all the words and you can't follow the recipe.
Why bother even uploading the picture of the recipe book?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm none the wiser. I'm still doing a bit of digging on that one, but it's happened 4 or 5 times.
Keep us updated on that one.
Well, I'll let you know how that one pans out. What next? Oh, if you listened to our first series, you know that I'm emotionally stunted, and we were talking about how I haven't cried since Scotland failed to qualify for the Euros since
2008?
2007 or 8, yeah. So in that, obviously in the interim, we have qualified for Euros, and I have cried. Isn't that? I was quite proud of myself.
Yeah, well done. You must have needed it.
I think I did. I had a wee cathartic greet and hug my knee. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Would recommend it to everyone, actually.
Yeah.
So that was quite good.
I'm averaging about one a day at the moment.
You must be dehydrated. What next? Oh, I've crashed my bike twice.
Oh.
Which I've literally never ever done before as an adult, but I've managed to do it twice in the space of like 2 months.
That's not good.
First one, I was cycling through the park and like went to turn quite fast, and it was just a complete sheet of ice, and like I came off and like skidded along for like 10 feet on this ice. And these dog walkers were like, oh! Like yelped. I didn't even make a sound. I just like skidded across, and they were like, are you all right? And they were like obviously keeping their social distance.
Oh.
But
Sorry.
They were like literally standing like 4 meters away shouting at me, are you okay? I was like, first of all, I'm fine. Second of all, if I wasn't fine, would you still like stand miles away from me, or would you come and help me? Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but see the phrase social distance, of course. Can we leave that in 2020? Can we just all assume that if you're not an idiot, you're social distanced? And don't say that, especially don't say it when you're not socially distant. Like,
I think people would like hang out not social distant, but then like quickly take a picture for Instagram, like 2 meters apart, and say social distance. Social
distance, of course.
It was always of course at the end.
Can we just leave that in 2020?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
And the most interesting and best thing that's happened to me is I've only gone and had my bloody vaccine. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, here at WIINK we are very much pro-vaccine.
Yeah, we're pro-vaxxers.
Yeah, which maybe brings me on to the most exciting thing that's happened to me, in that I joined a few anti-vax Facebook pages over the new year. I was mainly just curious. A lot of people who are anti-vax are so passionate about it that I'm thinking, where are they getting this information from? Like, why? I wouldn't say I'm passionately pro-vaccine, so where are they getting this information that is making them so passionate to spread the word? And I joined quite a few, and it's just hilarious. One kind of niche thing that I found was that a lot of like Minion, like the film Despicable Me, like the Minions, there's a lot of like Minion content, like we don't get the vaccine, with like a picture of like the Minions, and it's like Minions don't get vaccines, so don't vaccinate your children.
I really can't stand Minion culture. And has to die.
Minion culture.
I was like, but like even like obviously that's still persistent in these weird anti-vax groups, but that for a while was like a meme about like a typical white mum on Facebook like posting Minion memes, like a Minion like holding a glass of red wine and all this kind of stuff.
So they post like Minion content, they post sort of random screenshots with no sources, and they'll link off to some like unknown medical journal from the University of wherever.
Life.
University of Life. Or it'll be like WhatsApp screen messages from NHS doctors that names are blurred out and stuff like that. And, you
From
know,
Professor Denise Welch.
yeah. So, you know, maybe even if they had one piece of evidence from one credible source, I might, you know, rethink or, you know, reconsider the vaccine. But there was literally, I've joined quite a few of the groups now as well. There isn't one. And if anyone, I feel like there's maybe a few people like me who've joined, who try and infiltrate, and they just get called a sheep or do your own research, do your own independent research.
So have you as like a double agent, have you posted anything or like been active in these communities to like try and...
No, just a silent
assassin. A silent fart. Well, that's interesting. That's like investigative journalism. I don't think we're really used to that standard of commitment on this podcast. Like undercover. Next, you'll be wearing like body cams and like going to undercover meetings with local drug lords.
Next week on the What Is It Now Karen podcast.
Could you imagine if this evolved into like a breaking news agency or something?
Oh, I would love it.
But kept the name What Is It Now Karen?
WIINK.
WIINK News. To circle back to that socially distancing we were talking about, do you know who actually was really annoying me in the interim in our hiatus? Rita Ora. She got caught like 3 times breaking lockdown rules. She tried to have like a 30th birthday party with like 15 people or something at the height of the pandemic, and she flew away to like Italy or something, Italy and back. I actually think she's probably one of the most overrated and least talented pop stars out there. I don't know why people keep forcing her on us. Like, she's not that good. I always remember one time she...
Whoa.
I'm sorry, I'm about to rant. One time she tweeted 100,000 likes and RTs and I'll release my new single early, and she got like 200 or something. And then she had to post later being like, my account was hacked, nothing gets released till I'm ready. It's so sad.
That's like the equivalent of like people who post an Instagram picture but then they don't get any likes and they delete it, and then it's like, oh, Instagram like deleted this, re-uploading. Talking about celebrities going abroad, I don't want to get into it too much, but the Captain Tom going to Barbados. Now,
rest in peace.
Yeah, I was really upset when I heard that Captain Tom had died. You know, he raised a lot of money for the not that the NHS should need fundraising from a 100-year-old man, but raised a lot of money, raised a lot of people's spirits in a time where I think we really needed it, and deserves kind of all the accolades that he got. But I just find it interesting that when he took a trip to Barbados, which, hold my hands up, if I was 100 years old and I was given a free holiday to Barbados, would I take it? Probably. But it's the reporting of his holiday versus, you know, Rita Ora's holiday or other normal people's holiday. Anyone else who takes a holiday, they are selfish. They hate the NHS. You know, there's a pandemic going on, guys. But when he went on holiday, it was he was making special memories with his family. That's all I have to say about that.
Mic drop. No, it was everyone. I think he just got a free pass because it was like, well, it's about 100 and he's just raised £30 million. But I know what you mean. It's frustrating.
There's a lot of people though who, you know, who want to make lasting memories, who are, you know, and they want to go on one last holiday, but they've not been able to. So I think when people were questioning it, they were just being called trolls. But rather than actually saying, like, well, I wanted to go on one last holiday with my dying relative, but I couldn't. That's not being a troll. That's just asking a legitimate question. I was
a bit I knew it was coming, but I was a bit dismayed to see it was like, it felt like Remembering Sunday or something. It was like, all these people doing like Captain Tom makeup and stuff as a tribute. I was like, guys, that's not respectful or tasteful at all. I'm sure if people have seen it.
Did you?
You lost the plot.
Did you see the guy who done a paper mache dog?
Oh my god, I did actually. It was hard. He was like 7 foot tall. Had this big paper mache Captain Tom head on.
Like I'm sorry, that is not respectful.
That was the height of disrespect, I felt.
Oh.
But you know, without wanting to make the guy's legacy political, it was the poppy munchers that were out doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have a poppy on their van all year round.
But I was stunned. It was like the Daily Mail and stuff being like, makeup artist shares stunning tribute to Captain Tom, and it's like just hard, like done as an old man with like a blazer on and some medals. I was like,
yeah,
what?
that's not disrespectful, but someone not going out and clapping is disrespectful.
There was a guy. There was a black priest on Twitter who said that the clap for Captain Tom was a white British nationalist cult, and I thought that was quite an inflammatory statement. But when you see this, like that kind of frankly weird reaction to him passing away,
yeah,
then you can understand why. It's like, would another country do stuff like that? So I just found it quite odd. I would have felt like, you know, maybe a nice wee tribute on the news, maybe a wee statement from the Prime Minister, but like to go and, you know, slap all that Lizzie Arden on your face and sculpt it into looking like a 100-year-old man, it's just odd to me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And there was a suggestion that he should have a state funeral. It's like, no, surely that negates all that fundraising he did. If he then spend all the taxpayers' money on his funeral, and I'm pretty sure his family wouldn't want that anyway.
Yeah.
What a debacle.
I think it's just bizarre times. I think maybe the reaction is just a reflection of the weird feeling of the country at the moment. I saw that someone had a pair of like Adidas gazelles customised with Captain Tom's face on. Like
Zimmer frame.
I'm not laughing.
There was a Zimmer frame on the heel.
Like I don't know.
I mean, we're not laughing.
No, absolutely not. Like
the guy raised 40 million quid for a health service in crisis. I'm just laughing. I am just completely perplexed by the reaction.
Yeah. And the weird kind of inflammatory reaction of like anyone who questions. Like the thing is, I think the two aren't mutually exclusive for me. So you can think that his holiday to Barbados was a bit ill-judged, but still think that he was a really great man who deserves respect and did a lot of great things for our country. You know, the two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can also show respect by, you know, keeping him in your thoughts and in your, you know, keeping his family in your prayers, whatever, without having to customise a pair of Adidas gazelles or make a paper mache head, you know?
I think it makes a mockery of them. Like, the fact that we're sitting here laughing at the fact someone's made gazelles is in itself a sign that it shouldn't have happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In happier news, it's Jennifer Aniston's birthday today, so happy birthday, Jen.
Happy birthday, Jen. I'll talk to you soon.
52.
Let's get something organised when all this is over.
We'll get a couple of wee drinks.
When all this craziness is over.
A wee catch up, missus. Right. It's time for the first Karen of the second series. It is a belter, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think we're keeping it light. We've done a lot of kind of hard-hitting subjects, I think, on the podcast, but we want to keep it a bit light this week, which is why we're talking about the recent Courtside Karen, which was a fan who it turns out to be one of the opponent's wife at a basketball game, who got chucked out for heckling or trash talking LeBron James.
LeBron James. Do you know he's 46? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that old. I didn't. Well, I guess all power to him. Still playing basketball at 46. I've tried to play basketball once at uni, and I turned into like a weird, like breathless beetroot. It was very strange because it's like indoors and quite intense, and it was like in a gym hall, and there was like no air conditioning. I was like purple. I mean, I'm tall enough for it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not for me. It's not the one. Right, tell us more.
So it was Juliana Carlos. She thought that LeBron James looked at her husband in the wrong way and basically started heckling him and got tucked out and was posting like Instagram videos. We can't play them on the podcast because there's far too many profanities.
Yeah, we don't want to be demonetized.
Yeah, and then LeBron James tweeted after saying, Courtside Karen was mad.
Right, so what he's apparently looked at somebody the wrong way, and I'm looking at a picture of her just now on my phone. She's standing. She's doing like the classic Karen pose. She's like standing. She's like this, pointing really aggressively with her finger, and she's like shouting over her finger.
Yeah. So basically, LeBron James looked at her husband, who was on the opposing team, in the wrong way, and she didn't want anyone.
No, her husband wasn't on the other team. Her husband was like in the crowd with her.
Oh, so LeBron James was talking to her husband in the crowd.
She also did the very cliche thing of taking her mask off to scream at someone. It's at the very moment you should keep your mask on. So LeBron James himself said that he and this woman's husband were having words during the game. And the husband went a little bit out of bounds, end quote. And then the wife stood up and like started shouting.
Ah, right, okay. So the husband and wife were in the audience.
I think you call it a crowd when it's sports, not an audience. So she was in the crowd with her husband. I think him and LeBron James were having a back and forth.
Yeah.
And then something's been said that's crossed the line, or that Juliana's not really liked, and she's stood up, taken her mask off, and started shouting the odds like a wee wifey down the barras. I thought we could have a little fill in the blank game.
Okay.
Relating to this story. So this guy, Chris Carlos, who's the woman's husband, has a history of not really liking LeBron James, apparently. Because somebody dug up old tweets or something from like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
I've got no context for this tweet at all, but so he wrote like something like, I'll read it out and then I'll say the blank and you have to fill it in. Can you tell I don't like this guy? He almost blanked my wallet and phone.
He almost stole?
No. It's more like surreal than that. Like I was like, what?
He almost copied?
Copied as in like hadn't bought the same one?
Yeah.
I don't think, no.
He almost, I don't know.
He almost sat his big ass on my wallet and phone. What the hell does that, why? What does that relate to? So the guy obviously doesn't like LeBron, has managed to get courtside seats in a more or less empty stadium to just heckle him, and then has gone viral. Fair play.
Well done. What must it be like to be that angry? You know, they clearly have beef with LeBron James and they've bought courtside seats. I
know, like, do you think they went there thinking, I'm going to have a right go at this guy?
Yeah.
No matter what he does, I'm going to find a reason to go off my head at him. It's very strange.
It's generally speaking, do you know, I can understand sometimes I do it where I like follow people on Twitter that I don't like, I don't agree with. It's that kind of hate follow, isn't it? But I wouldn't go as far as to like paying money to go and like see them or spend time with them.
I know, because
that's just like that's the kind of step to, if that's like the step further than, you know, following them on Twitter or.
How much would that have costed for courtside seats?
Oh, crazy money.
And then you end up getting kicked out because you couldn't hold your tongue. It's like top athlete who probably doesn't even know who you are. The guy seems like they both seem like diddies, don't they?
Courtside Karen is hilarious. So what a name.
I know, that's great. I love the alliteration. Have you ever heckled someone at a sports match?
I can't say I have, but what this story reminded me of was a time when I was watching my younger brother playing football, and now I can't remember if it was one of the mums or dads got in a fight with another with another parent because, well, what they thought that they'd called their son a C word, right? And then their defence was, I never called him the C word, I just called him a wee dirty rat. So their defence was,
sorry, this is children's football.
Yeah, this is children's football, so this is like I'm guessing age you're like 8 or something, 8 or 9.
Under 9s.
Under 9s. The parent in question, you know, was defensive because I only called him a dirty wee rat because obviously there was a bad tackle or something. But it just then took me back to that time of going to see like my brother. I didn't go often, but when I did, I would just feel so uncomfortable at people shouting and screaming at children, and they'd be crying and not wanting to play, and it was just horrific.
I can fully agree with that. I played football from when I was about 9 until I was maybe like 15 or something. And like definitely early on, like even at like an under 10s, under 11s level, like you'd literally have your coach like standing on the pitch, like irate, screaming and things, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
I remember one game like descended into complete farce once. Like it was just like how old would I have been there? Like 12 or something, and there were like people getting like halved left, right, and centre. Like it was just a bad tempered game, and like the parents were like going off their nuts at each other, and just I was like, this is meant to be for fun, and now I'm like standing on this pitch. I don't even want the ball to come near me because somebody's going to like fly kick me, and it might even be like one of the parents. Do you know what I mean?
Well, when I seen that woman kick off at that game, just like took me back to that time of all those really angry. And typically, in my experience, it was mostly like men, like dads. And now, obviously, like looking back with the benefit of like being older in hindsight and stuff, it was that kind of like, it's quite sad, really, when you think about it. That it's typically, you know, dads that, you know, they could have made it if it weren't for that injury they got or whatever it was. You know, almost kind of living sadly, vicariously through their children.
That's the exact phrase I was going to say, living vicariously. Like, they're obviously like kicking every ball on the sideline. But like, just some of the aggro was just ridiculous. But then, like, I think afterwards it was like a conscious effort, like, maybe as I got older, there was a conscious effort to like stop that. So like the referee would like start to like seriously like red card parents essentially to be like, if you're going to speak like that, if you're going to shout like that, you need to leave because it's a kids' football game. It's not appropriate. Don't swear. Like it's completely nuts.
Yeah, I think any sort of like sport or hobby that children are involved in, I think parents do get very invested in it. Like any kind of club that I was in when I was younger, it was like dancing or even like brownies. It would be like competitive parents who would be more invested than the children.
Like dance moms.
Yeah. Irish dancing was probably the worst for that.
Really?
Yeah, so there would be like competitions and things, and the girls would say, oh, I don't want to go, but my mum's making me go, and they'd be like crying and stuff like that, and the mum's like, no, you will go.
It's so sad.
Yeah, they're literally Irish dancing, like crying.
I hope I'm not like that if I have kids, like pushing them to that extent.
Yeah, I think there's like a fine line of like, you know, you want to be interested in what they're doing. You know, it's not really nice if your mum and dad or your parents don't care about what you're doing. That's not very nice, but there has to be a fine line between, you know, being interested, taking an active interest in what they're doing and want to, you know, encourage them and then like making them cry. And
I think there's like a class divide when it comes to being a pushy parent. One time, like, quite liked to play tennis, and we were part of this tennis. You had to like pay to be part of this tennis club, like a family membership, so that we could all play. And we would like go up for like a knock around and stuff, and I would play against my brother and my dad and things. And then they would have kids tournaments, which were like, you know, just like a bit of fun, not the ball about, like not that fussed. But I like showed up to play like a quarter final or something, like after school, and like I was like 14 or 15, just like a wee skinny guy, like on the wrong side of puberty, and my opponent showed up and he was like this. He was like the same age as me, but he was like half a foot taller, like like properly like muscular, like wearing like a Nike like vest top and like a headband and all this kind of stuff, like as if he had a sponsorship deal. It was just me standing like on the other side of this, like wee scrawny me standing on the other side of this net, like about to be absolutely obliterated by this guy's serve, like Rafael Nadal style. And my mum was like, after it, I lost, but only because I actually had to. He beat me in the first set, and I beat him in the second set, and I was like, this guy's actually here for the taking. He just looks good. But I got this really horrific blister in my trainer, and I could not move. I was so annoyed, so I was like, I'll just forfeit. I don't care. And afterwards, my mum was like, I heard my mum talking to my dad afterwards. She was like, Danny should have seen the boy that showed up. He was like a man.
So was your mum giving him stick, or was she a silent observer?
No, she was just like standing, kind of watching, like quite supportive. Yeah. But she might not even have stayed to watch. I think my wee sister might have been like a proper baby at that point, and she was maybe like walking around the block in a pram. But like the other guys' parents were there, and like proper like fingers through the chain link fence, like shouting directions and that. And he would like serve the ball, honestly. And I honestly thought, if I missed this ball with my racket, there's every chance it could hit me in the face and knock me out. It was that fast.
So what was that got to do with the class divide? Sorry.
Or just because like he was obviously like from that part of the town that was very, very pop, and like had the full set of like Nike sweatband. Like he had maybe had like 2 tennis rackets that he showed up with, and I was like there in like my mismatched top and shorts and like a scuffed old tennis racket. I was just there for the knockabout.
Yeah, I do think though. I get where I thought you were going with the class divide though, is that I think like that pushy parents who push their kids into chess or tennis or I don't know what other posh people do. You know, that's encouraging and that's like being supportive. But I think like, you know, working class dads shouting like exploit the flanks on the football pitch.
Exploit the flanks is fine. I think it's like, you know, snap them or something.
Or just dads who are like constantly shouting at their like 7-year-old son who doesn't know what he's doing and doesn't know what a flank is.
Flank, I know. I think these are the guys that play Football Manager though too much, and they want to be a football manager, so they will shout at their 9-year-olds, "You're supposed to be a trequartista. Play the false 9." All in good fun, or I mean, it's meant to be all in good fun, but obviously it's not. Yeah. I can't say I personally have ever heckled somebody.
I think that was different at a football game when you're in a packed stadium. You know, usually you'd be kind of.
Yeah, actually, I take that back.
Cheering or shouting or, you know, but you can't hear it, so it's different in a basketball game. I imagine during COVID times it's empty.
Yeah.
Maybe they were saying things that a lot of people would say at a basketball game. You know, cursing the players or cursing the referee or whatever it is. But a lot of times you can't hear it because you're in a busy stand.
But then surely they would be self-aware and like realise that I can hear every single word I'm saying. Like, why am I still being a diddy?
Yeah, true.
But there was another fill in the blank actually that I found. So I was looking at a few Twitter posts about the Courtside Karen, and then one of the replies kind of made me laugh. There is no blank for being a Karen.
Excuse?
That's what I would have put in there, but no, it's not excuse.
There is no blueprint?
No.
There is no...
There is a blueprint for being a Karen. It's be loud, be obnoxious, have a trendy
know your rights.
Well, exactly, we know. And having a haircut that's long in the front and trendy at the back.
Yeah. There is no standing order for being a Karen.
Oh my God, I can't believe we haven't spoken about that.
I understand them.
Read them and understand them. Can I just say, Jackie Weaver is the new icon for 2021. What a queen. What a patient and tolerant queen.
We love Jackie Weaver.
We stand Jackie Weaver. This is a Jackie Weaver fan zone. This is a safe space for Jackie Weaver.
Is it standing order?
No, sorry, it's not standing order, no.
Sorry, I just have have you seen, I think I sent it to you actually, the indie band who do all who like made that into a song? And it's just
not an indie band, it's one guy.
I know. But it was read them and understand them. Read them and understand them. Read them and understand them.
I think that's actually how I found out about Jackie Weaver, because I saw him doing his cover. I was like, what is this all about?
Read them and understand them. Mm-hmm.
You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all. Do you know what it really reminded me of for some reason? Like the Vicar of Dibley, just because it was like a parish council. That's the kind of vibe I had. These people got far too much time on their hands.
Yeah.
I love the bit where the guy came back and he was like, we're trying to have a teams meeting, you fool. Like, obviously, trying to have like a separate secret teams meeting that Jackie Weaver's not in.
Yeah.
And then they'll just start laughing crazily. It was just so bizarre. Anyway, the missing word.
I don't know, tell me.
There is no medicine for being a Karen.
Oh. ...
sad face.
Mm.
I think there is. It's called like reflection. Introspection. Just relax. Take a breath. Don't say what you're about to say.
Karen's medicines are speaking to people in charge.
A large glass of Sauvignon Blanc and a Minion meme.
Yeah, and a live, laugh, love sticker. Or for the gammons, it would be a lukewarm pint of Stella and a gammon egg and chips.
Circle back very briefly because I just remembered that I saw something really funny about Captain Tom when he passed away. There was a different news story about something to do with like Liam Gallagher's dog or Noel Gallagher's dog or something like that was either sick or like gone missing or lost or dead or something. Anyway, and someone posted on the story being like, on the day Captain Sir Tom Moore was taken from us, this is the best you can do. Bloody shameful. This page is supposed to be I wear my poppy with pride, not I'll find any old shit on the internet and repost it. Especially about an unknown dog owned by a third-rate singer and a fourth-rate band. Sort it out. Oh, so it must have been like a I wear my poppy with pride page, but they posted about Noel Gallagher's dog.
Oh, so we weren't happy.
But again, great, as we've said numerous times, great sentence structure. An unknown dog owned by a third-rate singer and a fourth-rate band.
I like how they rate him more than they rate the band.
Maybe they see him better as a solo artist.
So yeah, they prefer solo stuff.
Sensational stuff. People are going mad, aren't they? Just spending far too much time inside.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Really excited to see what other madness we start to see over the next few weeks.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Can I just say, like, if that was the level of like borderline insanity that happened when Captain Tom died, like, what the hell is going to happen when like the Queen dies?
Oh, I don't know.
Or like Prince Philip or something. Like, what is actually going to happen?
Yeah. Oh, there won't be allowed to be any other news because it'll be disrespectful.
They'll be like, yeah, God, I don't even want to think about that.
They're probably already making their paper mache now.
Well, yeah, they better start now because it has to obviously be huge. Because the bigger
to be bigger than Captain Tom's.
The bigger the paper mache, the bigger the respect. That was a new format for us, wasn't it? Because like we used to do 1 versus 1 and have a vote, but that's a bit tedious.
Yeah.
We've learned our lessons. We've reflected. We've adapted. We've changed.
And yeah, I think we've said enough for this week. What do you think?
We've said enough. I've had a good time. It was good to get back.
Yeah. Dust off the old mic.
Dust off the mic, get back in the saddle.
I saw something and it was why do all white people have anxiety and the podcast? And I feel like that's us. Okay, so
I feel like that was everyone's like, oh my god, are you gonna let me speak? I feel like that was everyone's like 2020 like reflection, like, I got really into podcasting and
I actually think it was everyone's thing in 2019, but we were a year late. But you'll still find us in all the same places, Instagram, What Is It Now Karen, and email whatisitnowkaren@gmail.com. We didn't really go into any kind of Karen confessions, but maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, we also like you to submit stories to us as well. Times that you've been a Karen, times that you've been on the receiving end of a Karen, general funny things that have happened to you. Anything. Yeah. We really don't care. We're not.
Yeah, we're not particular. Just anything.
Anything that we can talk about. DM us on Instagram or emails.
Yeah. And we'll see you. We'll say we see you next week, but I say we record these. I say weekly-ish. So.
Yeah, but just do it if you like it.
I think we're averaging about every 10 days.
I think it's pretty good going.
I feel like see you next week is better than saying see you in 10 days.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it was great we catch up, Mrs. Good to see you.
Good to see you. When you meet up when all this is over. Sorry,
when this is all blown over.
Bye.
Good night, all. Bye.
Bye.
Wait, let me say bye again. That was.
No, I'm putting that one in.
Night.